Hello there, hey everybody. So today I shall be doing a poem narration. It is about a poem of death, a very flat poem of how things happen in life to certain people and then they die. It's very simple, it's known as the fortunes of men. However, I'm sure that some of you will notice that the stanzas, the rhyming, even the alliteration is a bit off, but that's because this poem was written in the 8th to 9th century, and so thus back then, the concepts of traditional poetry, which were, introduced by writers in the Renaissance era, hadn't yet been known yet, and so because of that, it may sound a bit off and not like a poem at times. However, I assure you, it is still quite a treat to read, or perhaps in this case, listen to. Now, let's get right into it. The fortunes of men. Often by the grace of God it comes to pass that into the world a man and woman give birth to a child. They clothe him in colors, nurture and teach him until the time comes with the passing of years that the young limbs, sturdy members become strong. His father and mother carry and feed him, cherish and guide him, but God alone knows what the years will hold for him as he grows. For one unfortunate man it happens that this end comes too quickly in early youth, a woeful fate. The wolf will devour him. Grey walker of the wasteland, his mother mourns his tragic journey, but cannot change it. Hunger will waste one, storms sweep one away, the spear will spill one war will destroy. One must endure his life without light, feel about with his hands, one lame in foot, stricken in his sinews, must groan at his fate, mourn the Maker's decrees with a troubled mind. One will fall from a high forest tree, wingless yet flying, flailing at the air, sailing through space until there are no more branches to break his fall. Then he lies senseless among the roots, robbed of his soul, he falls to the ground, his spirit flies away. One must wander in ways remote, forced, footsore, his provisions in a pack, to tread a damp trail in dangerous territories and foreign lands. He has few living who might help him. Everyone hates a friendless man because of his misfortunes. One must hang on the high gallows, swing there in death until his soul hard, his bloody corpse is broken to pieces. There the dark-plumed raven will pluck out the eyes in his head and shred his soulless carcass. His hands cannot hold off that hateful scavenger, fierce bird of prey. His life has fled, and senseless, hopeless, pallid and stark, he awaits his fate on that wooden beam. In the fog of death, his name is damned. Flames will enfold one on the funeral pyre, a doomed man devoured by greedy fire. Swiftly and suddenly his life is stripped away by the wild red blaze. The woman weeps who sees the flames so enfold her child. The edge of a blade on the med bench takes the life of one, an angry ale drinker. A wine-drunk brawler, too bold with his words. The cup-bearer's hand makes one beer-drinker a drunken sot. He doesn't know how to govern his mouth with his mind in due measure. But he will lose his life most wretchedly, suffer catastrophe, cut off from joy. Suicide, self-killer, men will call him, and tell tales of the drunkard's impertinence. One with God's power will put an end to all his hardships while he is still young, and be blessed with success again in later years, living days of delight, indulging in wealth, treasures and med-cups in the midst of his family, as much as any man might hold on to them. So the Lord Almighty allots to all men diversely over the face of the earth, appoints, decrees, controls their destinies, to one wealth, to one a share of woe, to one gladness in youth, to one glory in war, successful battles to one shooting or throwing, shining fame to one skill at tafel, cunning at the chessboard. One becomes a wise scholar, wonderful talents are given to one as a goldsmith. Often he tempers and trims with adornments a mighty king's mail-coat, and he in return receives broad lands and accepts them happily. One will amuse men at a gathering, and cheer those who sit down to beer on their benches, great merriment for the men who drink there. One will be found sitting at his lord's feet, harp in hand he takes hold of his payment, sharp and shrill he will pluck the strings, let the plectrum sing loud as it leaps about, making sweet music to much delight. One will tame the proud wild bird, a hawk to his hand, until the fierce bird becomes gentle. He makes some jests and feeds the feather-proud bird in feathers, gives the swift flyer little scraps of food, until the wild creature becomes humble, obeys his master in looks and behavior, trained and tamed to the young man's hand. So wonderfully, the Saviour of multitudes shaped and determined the skills of men, directed the destiny of every one of mankind throughout the earth. Therefore let each one now say thanks to him for that which he in his mercy ordains for men.